Hello, I'm Kaylee, and I'm here to talk about the podcast episode that we were assigned to listen to and discuss with one another. I have a couple of points that I took notice while listening to the episode. One of the first ones was how the host kind of started off the episode with how she noticed some power imbalances, saying how some of the jurors, judge, and attorneys were predominantly white, and bodyguards and clients and people who were a little bit more background were person of color, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think we all kind of know how the race story goes with like police officers and stuff like that. And I think it was just interesting to hear a white woman talk about that because it is a serious thing. And it kind of shed some light into the case. And that's kind of leading me to my next point was how from like a perspective of somebody who doesn't really know too much about like the system and kind of it has like a couple short loose ends on stuff like that. From my perspective, it seemed pretty unfair. It kind of seemed like what they wanted to see and what they read from the police officer kind of that's all they really focused on and not hearing the client side, um, because she was guilty of a felony of hurting an officer, if I'm not mistaken. And there was much more to the story, and it kind of seemed like they kind of like push that aside because um I like it would have been nice to like watch the video or whatever. It might have been like gruesome or whatever, but it kind of would have gave like us a little bit more perspective. But from the descriptions, it kind of seems like the girl was getting abused or being sexually harassed, I should say, um, and tried to defend herself. And then more people came in and kind of interject themselves and made the situation way worse. Um, and it kind of seemed like something that I did take notice of as well was that she already had a criminal history. It didn't seem like that she had like a lot of like serious stuff, but it kind of seemed like they used that against her. Like, oh, she was already um, in trouble once before, like, and this isn't much far from what they think her character is. Um, and yeah, because there was video evidence to prove that she was sexually harassed by it's still unclear, but like seems like a couple of men, and she had accidentally hit the police officer while she was trying to defend herself from multiple people. And there was body cam, like a conversation between the friend, or actually the girl and the police officer, saying that he understands that she didn't mean to do it, and that was like a huge thing, um, and could have helped her out a lot. And um, something else that like really kind of irked me a bit was how in the beginning the lawyer was like, I'm gonna get this down to a misdemeanor. Like if it were me, like I wouldn't even have charged her or whatever. But then like as the time goes on, episode goes on, um, he's not as persistent with that because he had said that if he did, then he would be seen as someone who is trying to make things complicated when it doesn't need to be, which kind of like frustrates me because the woman had lost her job and come to find out that she was pregnant. She was put through a lot. She lost her job, which is hard, especially in the economy we have right now, and her bringing a child into life. Um, it just seemed very unfair, and it didn't seem like the system really was on her side. And I think this story, I believe that our system does try to protect as many people as they can, but I think they're very selective. And I think this case is something to add onto the pile of why people don't trust the system and don't really go through with reporting crimes or things like that. So yeah, hope this makes sense.